conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping and Paul Felder.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Believe You Me podcast, the one and only Paul Felder, Michael Bisping. And today we have a monster show. We're joined by Reinier de Ridder. We're joined by Eddie Hall. We got Sam Alvey that just knocked out Tyrone Spong in a crazy twist. And Saturday night's main event, Cory Sandhagen. Now, I will say this. I had to do the Eddie Hall interview alone, and we'll edit that in later because Paul Felder, you look like you've just been dragged out of bed, Paul.
I have. Luckily, I woke up in time to see all the messages and missed calls. And Christine was next to me on the other side of the couch, assed out asleep too. So between the two of us, we were worthless for a little bit there. You know how it was from the weekend. In
your defense, the last time I saw you was technically yesterday.
According to our sleep schedule.
We were at a piano bar. Brendan Fitzgerald's playing soothing tunes on the piano. Me, you, and Lappy, the producer from the UFC, we're drinking. We're having a few post-show drinks, unwinding. Then I had to leave you guys there, so I don't know how long you stayed. I went to the airport at 3 a.m., flew via Phoenix, might have had a couple on the plane as well, and then got home. So, bro, I'm with you. I feel the pain.
And for me, it's 2 weeks in a row because Kansas City, and I'm doing this to myself. And you did it to yourself this week. We booked these flights that are way too early. When you book it, you're like, yeah, nice. I'll get out of there good and early. Well, the fights weren't over till midnight. I think it ended at midnight. I think Cory, since he ended it early, just past midnight, right? So then we're having a couple drinks, we're hanging out. We weren't even getting crazy, but it's already at that point, it's 2-something in the morning. You literally left us so you can get your stuff and go. And by the time I realized that, dude, I got to my room. Luckily, I'd already packed. It's like, yeah, I got to go too. Like I washed my face, jumped in the friggin' van with Lappy. So it's 2 weeks in a row of basically just Saturday into Sunday having zero sleep. But now I get a weekend off. But hey, guess what? It's a pay-per-view, and I'm on the East Coast, so I'm going to be up till 1 or 2 in the morning, and it's late. Yeah, so
it is a pay-per-view. Belal Muhammad, Jack Della Maddalena. So we'll talk about that later as well. We got Reinier de Ridder jumping on in just a moment. So let's start about this. Let's start with that because obviously, let's talk about because Bo Nickal is getting slaughtered online. He's getting so much shit. And we've both met Bo Nickal. He's a really nice guy. He's super respectful. Yeah. Of course, he was confident, and rightly so, given his wrestling credentials, what he has accomplished in one of the toughest sports on the planet. And yeah, when you put yourself out there and you say you're going to do this, that, and the other, and that I'd be a favorite against Hamzat. Okay, granted, you're allowed a little bit of backlash, but holy shit. Like people are coming after him so hard.
Yeah. I don't get it. I mean, he hasn't said anything that's insulting, is over the top, is, polarizing type statements. He's just been a confident young wrestler from Penn State that's trying to make his way through. Now, granted, you can say, oh, the hype train, this, all that, if you want to talk a little shit. Whatever. But the fact that people do go to cut his throat out there it's a little ridiculous. But I do feel that Reinier de Ridder was just not a good choice at this moment in time. I feel like he's still developing a lot more than what even him and his team think. I think in the room, he's probably looking really good, Michael. I think he's probably really strong, but I just feel like he still needs time to get used to. I know he competed at a high level in wrestling, but it's just, it's so different. It is such a different sport.
Well, Callum's a wrestler, so he understands the wrestling credentials more than I do, and he's like, dude, he's like the guy, you know what I mean? He wasn't, really, he wasn't an Olympic gold medalist, but he's as high as you can get. So of course, he's come through the UFC. He was undefeated, and I think some of the backlash is because people perceived that he was getting Dana White privilege, right? But I disagree. He went on the Contender. They didn't give him a contract because it was You know, he was too early in his career. He had to come back twice, and he's stepped up, and he's still undefeated. He beat Paul Craig, and all right, Val Woodburn stepped up on short notice, and he knocked him out and stuff. And now he faces Reinier de Ridder, who is, I knew this. This was a bad matchup. This is a really bad match. And he chose to jump the gilly. You know, it was like, he'll learn. He's just so inexperienced. I think also when you look at the size of them both, Reinier de Ridder's gigantic. He's 6'4", and I'll throw you the baton now, Paul. But final thing, I heard it on good authority that I won't mention the name. They wanted this matchup. They called out Reinier de Ridder. They were offered another matchup. They went, no, we want Reinier. It's like, bro, the guy's now 20-2 with world-class jiu-jitsu. He might have shit the bed on that one.
I think so. I think you're right. And I heard that too. I think they look at his first couple fights. Now, got to remember that de Ridder is still getting his feet wet at that point, right? He has a good fight with Gerald that's competitive, but he gets to finish. But it looks like he's kind of taken in by the moment a bit, that it's his UFC debut. Then he goes out there and just absolutely steamrolls Kevin Holland, who we know and have had on here is a great fighter when he's at 170 pounds. Definitely oversized and overpowered him there. So I think they're looking at it and they're thinking, we're going to be a better striker than Reinier, and we're going to be able to match his pace and grappling. And unfortunately for them and for Bo, none of that was the case. And I think that we're only seeing Reinier get more comfortable and really show why he was a double champ at one championship outside of the UFC and has fought in 2 different weight classes. The dude is huge. And the other thing I wanted to bring up, Michael, do you think the weight stuff for Bo was all an act, or do you think he really cut 30 pounds on fight week? Because where was it?
If anyone didn't see it, he stepped on the scale at 222 pounds. He certainly looked undersized against Reinier de Ridder, not taking away anything from what he did. But when you look at de Ridder, 20 wins, 18 stoppages, 13 submissions, 5 knockouts. A lot of people had some kind of nasty shit to say when he beat Gerald Meerschaert, because Meerschaert was catching him with a few shots. Meerschaert is underrated, man. You know Meerschaert very well. Meerschaert doesn't get the credit he deserves. Then he destroys Kevin Holland. And with respect to Kevin Holland, he made it look easy. He just did. De Ridder's going to do big things. We got him on in a second. He's got a personality, called out Strickland, all that stuff. But for Bo Nickal, I mean, because I've been there. I've had the abuse. I've had the shit. Have you ever been in a position, Paul, where after a fight, people are just coming for you and talking shit? Or have you always just been loved?
No, I get shit all the time. People hate my guts. The people that hate,
because you're always late to the podcast.
Yeah, I would say I primarily get decent stuff from the people that take time to chime in. But man, when somebody hates me, my God, Michael, they hate me hard, man.
What
they
did
hate
he
me
say?
Specifically. Oh, well, you're always a ginger, this or that. But people have gone out and called out like, oh, I'm glad your dad's dead, and have said like the nastiest, meanest, I hope you die of cancer too, just like your father did. It's like, I want to meet that human being and see what that person is like. Can you imagine writing that type of stuff?
Harrington, just real quick, while we're having this conversation, just go online and see if you can find, let me know if you're there, buddy, see if you can find the nastiest shit that's been said.
Oh, yeah.
because the people, you would think that this guy is broken into their home and beaten up.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
It's like, it's crazy.
He's a respectful guy on the come up who faced a former double champ in one and got beat up with knees. He wasn't ready for that Muay Thai.
He got exposed, bro. He got exposed.
Yeah. I know.
He did.
It's so insane. For me, it was after the second Edson fight when I got that decision that a lot of Edson fans obviously did not think that I won.
The decisions, winning a fight by a decision is always a tricky one. In fact, commentating a fight that goes to a decision is a tricky one. I got so much shit for when Josh Emmett fought Lerone Murphy. Oh, I'm super biased. I'm sorry, bro. Lerone won the fight, and I was calling it as I saw it. But to win a fight by a decision, that might be controversial.
God forbid split decision. Whoo, buddy.
Bro, when I beat Matt Hamill, I went from being relatively loved in the US, which I was at the time, to be, because it was on Spike TV, 4 million people. I went to being hated. Oh my
to beating
God.
their deaf UFC USA champion.
What we got here? What is this? Paul Felder.
Oh, well, there you go. Wasn't being dominant on the ground. Laugh my ass off. He tore his knee off playing 50-50. Shut up.
What is this?
I don't think he meant redacted in this one here.
Paul say Misha Tate needs to get a finish before the third round is over. Kind of sus. What are we looking at here, Paul? Brian, why did you bring this up? What are we looking at?
Paul Felder, and then I was just pulling up bad things that people were saying about Paul.
Yeah, well, there's lots of bad shit online. You just got to ignore it, embrace the harness the good energy, block the bad.
For saying that Bolaños went out on his shield. It's like there's nothing wrong with tapping. It was a choke. He's okay going out from a choke. It's not like he let his arm shatter.
Anthony Smith would never get the movie references, but harness the good energy, block the bad. What's the movie? Stay there, Harrington. Harness the good energy, block the bad.
What time frame is it from?
It's from, I would say, late 90s, mid 90s, late 90s. It's a comedy. Jesus Christ, Paul. You don't know it. Just say it. Just bow out, tap out. Have a little bit of dignity.
I don't have enough sleep. I don't have enough sleep to know what this is right now.
Happy
Harrington, what is it?
Kevin Nealon, right before he fights Bob Barker.
It's many times. Harrington, what's going on, bud?
Nothing. I was just pulling up. I was trying to find Paul Felder hate. I typed in F Paul Felder online. And I'm hearing.
I specifically asked for Bo Nickal hate.
Oh, it was Bo Nickal hate. I'm sorry.
Yes.
But I'm glad that we put that out there.
I said Bo Nickal
on today. I'm having a rough day, Harrington. Thanks for making it better.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Most people were like, yo, every commentator who's not Bisping and Paul Felder. I with Paul Felder. I was looking for Paul Felder hate, and I got nothing but Paul Felder love.
You know what's funny about the commentator?
Go on.
Go ahead, Mike. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you get dickheads online, right? And you just ignore it. As I say, harness the good energy, block the bad. It's a joke, but it's true. There were some people talking shit about me recently as a commentator. Some shitty journalists turned it into a story and wrote stories on their little 2-bit websites about it. Like, bro, is that the level of your journalism? Oh my God. Yeah. Someone online says that Bisping's a shitty commentator. He's like, my God. Anyway.
Rainier's about to comment on that. He might have some things to say.
He's chewing. He's on silent. He's on mute. He's figuring it out. You just take your time, Reinier. Take your time. You have the full amount of time.
Oh, now he's gone. Oh.
He saw one look at you, Paul, how disheveled you are today. I thought, no.
I don't think I look that bad. I mean, the hair's not too bad. Beard's looking good.
I'm a Dutch superstar, so I'm not talking to Paul Felder when he looks like this.
I kind of think I think he's got it. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he's got the personality. Let's hear from him now. Oh, it's Harrington.
No. Sorry about that. I was just going to say, shout out, who was it? John Gooden on the call with you. He hit the, knee to the body. Say he's undefeated no longer.
No, it's Brendan.
To a real Brendan Fitzgerald. Brendan. I'm sorry.
And dude, I'm seeing that everywhere, and people are tagging me and saying, "Great, one of the best calls, Paul. Great call." I'm like, that wasn't me. I wish I could take credit for that, but that's the play-by-play guy that puts the cap on it.
Yeah, we get told to be quiet. We have to be quiet at those points. So they have a clean call.
Yeah, lay it out. And we did. We both laid out, and he jumped in there with that. I thought that was a good one, too. And some people were being like, oh, it's a bit harsh. I'm like, no, man, that's in the moment. He called it,
Yeah. All right, today's episode is sponsored by Cash App. If you want to send your friend some money, if you owe him some money for a beer, or more importantly, they owe you money, they didn't pay that round of drinks back, guess what? Cash App is here to save the day because it makes moving money very, very easy. That's where Cash App is fast, safe, and honestly, one of the best ways to send money to other people. And it's better than most of the other apps out there. You don't need to jump through extra hoops. There's no extra stress and all the tools are right there to help you cash in. Plus, sending money with Cash App is actually safe. They look out for you. If something seems sketchy or they see that you might be sending money to a potential scammer, for example, they will warn you and make you think twice before you hit send. It's like having a personal bodyguard for your cash. You can even spice up your payments with custom text, stamps, and backgrounds, because why should paying your friend back for those beers be so boring? If for whatever insane reason you don't already have Cash App, just download it from the App Store right now. Use the code BELIEVE when you sign up, send $5 to a friend, and you will get $10 just for getting started. So if you need to send cash, receive cash, if you want to save some cash, you need to get Cash App. For a limited time only, Cash App users can use our exclusive code to get some additional cash. For real, there's no catch. Just download the Cash App, use the code BELIEVE when you sign up, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. That's money. That's Cash App.
I think it's working now.
Oh,
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Reinier, you are back home in Amsterdam, correct?
Yeah, in Breda, in the Netherlands.
They have a very echoey room that you're sitting in there, but it's okay.
It's a very large house. It's a very large house.
Given that performance, the house is going to get even bigger. We were just joking, Reinier, because it was only yesterday that I was with Paul and we had a couple of drinks after the show. Now we're here doing this. We're exhausted. You've flown back to Amsterdam and you made time for the show, so we appreciate it, brother. But I'm sure you got a big smile on your face.
Yes, it's good to be home. It's nice to be home. It was a long trip, yeah, but it's nice to be back in the best country in the world.
Best country in the world. Talk to me about this fight. Obviously, Bo Nickal, you knew the threat coming in. He's got the wrestling, you've got the jiu-jitsu. As I said, it was the Dutch Thai boxing that got it done. But going into that fight, what were your biggest concerns?
Well, my biggest concerns is we don't really know as much about him. Huh? Let me say it a little different because it's very echoey, as you say.
It's okay.
Get to work, editors. Get to work. Well, the biggest thing is we didn't know as much about him, right? So we saw last time that his striking was pretty decent. We know his wrestling is great, but it was hard to really pin down what he was going to do, to really pin down his game plan. But I was happy that I was able to stay away from the big shots, stay safe. I was happy that I can really implement my plan of getting close, hitting him with some good shots in the clinch. Yeah, couldn't be better, right?
Yeah, Reinier, I mean, you basically laid out the blueprint for us in the fighter meetings that week and told us, listen, I don't want to be standing too far away. I want to get right in his face. I want to almost force him to want to grapple with me if that's the case. And if he doesn't, and I end up in the clinch, I feel like I'm going to be much better there with the knees, with my elbows. And when you started fighting, I remember thinking, holy shit, like this dude just said exactly how this is going to go down. So how good did that feel for when you started landing the big knees to the body? You must have been thinking, this is exactly what we wanted. This is great. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, exactly. That gives a lot of confidence. If you notice that that the fight plays out the way you expected it to play out. As I said in the fighter meetings before, we really thought the fight was going to be won or lost in the clinch. And one of his main thing is he likes to pump, get you to step back, and then he likes to throw his stuff. So we thought if I could really pressure him, he's going to have a hard time even throwing something. And I think that showed because he was only letting his punches fly at the very end. And I think at that point he was just throwing crazy because he was already hurt.
Yeah.
What was the feelings when he decides to jump a guillotine? Were you just thinking, oh, baby, let's go?
Yeah, because I was able to get up, right? So I was wrestling up. I was looking to get to the double and try and get him on his back. And he goes for the guillotine, and I go, hey, that's nice.
Let's party.
I know how to defend this stuff. I think I've been here before a couple of times. For a moment, Von Flu went through my mind, but it wasn't there. He was wise to it. He pulled the hand out pretty quickly. But I think that moment was pretty important in the fight because it showed that I was able to keep him down once I got him down. So it made him worry about the clinch that much more, I think.
And Reinier, when you think back to your career outside of the UFC, and you held 2 belts, obviously, and you were very successful. You've only fought now 3 times in the UFC. That first fight, even though it was against Gerald and you got the finish, did you feel anything different from even fighting in the Apex versus when you were fighting outside? And now, do you feel a big difference from having just had your 3rd fight, being in a co-main event spot, and finally really taking on somebody that was supposed to be like a real challenge for you? Do you feel like now you're opening up and really showing 100% of who you were right before you got in? Because obviously they wanted you for a reason. They wanted you for what you were doing in one to come over here and do that same thing in the UFC. Do you feel like people are going to start getting a lot more on board with you now that you've had these 3 performances, and it's like, okay, this dude is a legit sign to this company and could be a real contender at 185 pounds?
Yeah. So leaving one was in a terrible position, of course. So I left losing 2 fights in devastating fashion, and there were all kinds of reasons for it, of course, and it wasn't all the most fairly set up fights, of course, but whatever. I lost the fight, so I wasn't in the best.
Can you elaborate on what you're talking about?
I was fighting heavyweight. There's no way of talking
the
about
hydration stuff.
Oh, that to the drug
Steroids?
Testing.
Yeah,
Stuff is not really there, right?
Yeah.
It's like they ask you before the fight, did you use drugs?
And that's it. That's the extent of the drug test.
It's the honor system, Michael. It's the honor system.
Yeah, it's a trust. You trust people. It's just like that.
Yeah.
But that's not it's the way it is. And I knew that before, so I could have done whatever I wanted to do as well. So it was my choice to take the fight. It was all it was on my end. There was nothing that I didn't know about. I know the practice they do there. I know how it all works. So I just fought at the time. I was at a pretty arrogant stage of my career as well. I just thought I can beat anybody in the world. Doesn't matter how big, how good, what they're on. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean,
and yeah. So what I was trying to say is, at the end of the career, I was at a low point. I had to get out with a big fight with lawsuits and whatever going on, all the works. I got a fight at UAE Warriors with a lot of stress there. I don't know if you've ever heard any of the stories, what went on there behind the scenes.
I would love to hear them right now, real quick.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of pressure from One Championship to make sure that I didn't fight there in the craziest way. I was like unsure of fighting 30 minutes before the fight actually happened. Talking to lawyers all over the world, and the craziest, the baddest thing going into a fight. Then, fortunately, this is something I've always been able to do. Whatever happens, I just put the headphones on, get into the right mindset, and I know how to perform when it needs to happen, regardless of what's going on. So I was able to.
Sorry. No, go ahead. No, go ahead, please. Sorry.
I was able to finish the dude at UAE Warriors pretty easily in the first round. Quickly, didn't get hurt. All good. And then Ali, my manager, who set everything up and really helped me to get everything done here, got me the UFC fight. And I was still kind of building up at that point at the Gerald fight. I was still getting back into the confident guy I was before and getting everything in line, still looking like to find a full-time place to train at, because I have a lot of good training partners here at home, but I really needed a place like Kill Cliff, like I found the fight after. And Gerald was a guy I already knew before, a guy I highly respect for his skills. And it was just a big thing to finally be in the UFC after all those years of.
Yeah.
I don't want to be sound like a bitch, but abusing one, because these people, they've really, really, really treated me badly over the last couple of years. So yeah, it was just the first fight was just a big thing, and afterwards I got through that, of course, in a good way, but it could have been a lot better, that first fight. And after that, I got my training set up very well at Kill Cliff. I did a first full camp for the Kevin Holland fight. Really showed off in that one. Got back even sooner to Kill Cliff to prepare for the last fight. And I'm just seeing myself grow every time. Every session I get in there, I grow. I've always been a hard worker, but I didn't know this kind of hard work existed. I didn't know my body could take the amount of work I've been putting in right now.
Well,
because at home, I thought I trained hard, but now looking back, it's not like nearly anything what I've been putting in at Kill Cliff.
Well, now you are 20-2 with 18 finishes, 3 wins in the UFC, all stoppages. You just stuck out a major prospect. Of course, now you haven't got to deal with all the other bullshit, the unprofessionalism with all the other organizations. You know where you stand with the UFC. There's going to be no shenanigans. You're going to get paid. You're going to get paid well, and you're going to get big matchups. However, have you seen the bullshit that Bo Nickal's getting online? Have you seen all the abuse that he's getting? Because it's like, Reinier de Ridder was a 2-weight division champion. He stopped 18 out of 20 people that he's beaten. You've only got 2 losses on your record. You're 6'4", and they are coming after him, man. How the fuck do you make middleweight as well?
It was pretty hard this time. After the last fight, like everything I looked at kind of stuck to my body. So it was a hard one this time. I'm trying to stay away from food a little bit this time. But yeah, what you were saying, it's kind of like where society's at, and he has been on that crossroad of confidence and arrogance a bit, like I've been in the past myself, which is why, and he's had a lot of a lot of press and he's just a very popular guy already, and people like to hate on that stuff, man. But I think if he just does this, he'll be fine. Just put the phone away in another room for the next 3 days, spend some time with your wife and kids, then pick the phone up again next week, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
So true. So true.
It's so true. It's so true. It really is just right in the moment when that fight's still happening. We have a pay-per-view coming this weekend, a championship's on the line. Everyone's going to be talking about something else, and you can move on.
Everyone's going to be talking shit about Belal, right? Let's be honest.
Let's be honest.
Love to. Yeah.
Absolutely love to.
You mentioned Sean Strickland as a next opponent. I love that matchup, and I love that call out.
Yeah, me too.
Any word on it? Has anybody reached out to you, even if it's not Sean, but did you talk to Mick or Sean? Have you talked to, has Hunter talked to you? Like, nothing?
No, not yet. I tried to find them at the event, Hunter and Mick, but couldn't after the fights. Everyone was gone after I did all the press. So it's up to Ali, man. He's done a lot of good work already for me. So let's see if he can get this one too.
I mean, to be fair,
if there's somebody that'll do it.
Yeah,
exactly. But I kind of expected him to be like on Instagram already, Reinier de Ridder or whatever, but not yet. So we'll see.
Well, it's only been a day. So you got plenty of time.
That means he might not want it, brother. That means he might not want it. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, Sean Strickland's in a tricky spot. I'm not sure I'd want to take on de Ridder. He'll probably use the fact that he's ranked so high. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but I don't think he's the guy to turn somebody down, really, right? I think he's kind of down for whatever.
Yeah. No, he is, to be fair.
Hopefully in the rank, maybe I'll go up in the rankings at least a little bit, right, now, after the fight.
Oh, Of course.
Yeah.
But you're going to talk some shit. Like, if you were to, what's your biggest problem with Sean Strickland? Say it right now. Say it.
Fuck
Get
America,
us some headlines.
Fuck guns, fuck Donald Trump. What
You're
else
going to go
was
on
he
a
like?
rant.
Fuck white
Gotta make it up,
t-shirt.
right? Yeah.
Fuck jeans.
Yeah.
What
Motorcycles. Fuck
Gas don't
motorcycles.
work. Tesla shit.
Hey, you're in Holland. You called it the best country in the world. I've been there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to start to promote the fight already a bit.
Yeah, good. You live in Amsterdam?
I live in Breda. That's like, it's in the south.
What's the national dish? What's like the most common dish that people eat in Holland?
We like mashed potatoes with stuff. It's not that special. The food is not the greatest thing here.
Come on. Are you married? You got a girlfriend?
I got a wife, yes.
What does she like to cook for you?
Is she there?
She's there.
She's here.
I know you're looking at her.
She's making sure you don't say anything bad right now.
She's trying to hide now. No, I'm gonna have an American smoker here. Don't tell Sean, but it's a big American smoker barbecue, and I'm gonna make some nice brisket over the weekend for the.
Nice, dude. Yeah, hell yeah.
Beautiful. Well, listen, Reinier, we won't keep you too much longer. We'll let you go. Thank you very much for your time. I love the performance. I love the way you handled the crowd on the microphone. I thought that was fantastic. You're a big star, man. You got big things coming forward in your future. So congratulations on everything. Thanks for your time. We'll see you soon, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for the support. And I'll see you guys soon.
Yes,
All the best. Mashed potatoes. I thought he was going to say like pancakes or something like that.
I thought they did. Where is it? Is it Belgium that they eat like mussels and all that kind of stuff? I was thinking something like that. But
but Brian Harrington, just look up the national dish of Holland because it ain't mashed potato. I mean, he's Dutch, so he'd know. Oh, and there was some dickhead online saying, Bisping said, look at that, Dutch Thai boxing. There's such a thing as Dutch Thai boxing, you morons. Okay? It's the Dutch version of Thai boxing, you pricks. Anyway.
You ready for this?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
The national dish of the Netherlands, often referred to as Holland, is stampot, which is a hearty combination of mashed potatoes and vegetables.
wow.
It looks, I'm starving. That looks amazing. Show me that again. That's like sausage with
That's definitely
peppers.
some like vegetable mashed mix with potatoes and some salt. That does look. I mean, I would eat it.
It looks good. Looks good to me.
I'm waiting for the invite, De Ridder. We're waiting for the invite to do a show in Holland.
We got to go do a show in Holland, man.
We may never come back.
You got to be careful, though. So Paul Felder was dishing out the edibles again. I didn't have one.
We got to tell. Well, hold on. We do have to tell the story, but no names. No names said of who.
No names. Okay. No names. I just know that I wasn't involved, so I'm good. But Paul Felder he made a big mistake. He made a big mistake of confusing 5 milligram edibles with 50 milligram edibles.
Okay.
So we went out to dinner and there was 2 people there that were comatose, that couldn't speak, that were white as a ghost. And I was laughing my ass off. I was so glad it wasn't me.
So I made the terrible mistake of just taking a Ziploc bag, and I get some gummies from a couple different sources. A really close friend and a cousin of mine who makes really good things and does all kinds of stuff, and also makes other kind of apothecary type things. But when I was traveling and I'm just going to different places in the US, obviously I just throw it all in the same bag. And you're right. And dude, but how long was I spent hours looking at what was sent to me from the original packaging to try to match the same colors. And I told this person that was out to dinner with us, no, I swear to God, that one's the 5. It was 5 milligrams of THC, 5 milligrams of CBD. Not a big deal at all. Not a big deal at all. The problem is it was either that or it was a 50 milligram bad boy of THC. And well, said person, unfortunately, got the wrong one. And it was scary but hilarious at the same time. And shout out to this person for being an absolute trooper and getting through that dinner.
You're spiking people, Paul.
And Mike, and how about me? I felt bad, so I started eating all the rest of them basically to try to be on the same level. And this person's like, "Don't do that. Now you can't even help me. You're the one who's just also stoned."
You should have felt bad. I had to. We were the same.
Those home fries, by the way, at that steakhouse, once that all kicked in, were delicious. By the way.
Yeah. Well, I was on the same floor. I had to walk him back to his room. Anyway, we do have Cory Sandhagen and we do have Eddie the Beast Hall joining us in just a bit. Should we do? How long we got until Cory Sandhagen jumps on? I think it's in a minute. Have you got a quick story for us, Harrington? A quick non-MMA? What have we got? I don't even think he's bloody there.
No, I'm here. I was just I was putting something in the chat to ask you guys. Okay, yeah. So how about this? The new hottest Australian sport is called Run It. It is it combines everything you love about rugby, football, car crashes, you name
concussions.
It. Yes, dude. This is concussion central. It's essentially a football Oklahoma drill where the guys start on their feet and have run.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just dumb. I mean, I don't even see what the appeal is. So basically, they just sprint at each other
as hard as they can into each other,
head first, essentially, with no helmet.
No helmet.
Just run at each other, and see what happens.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Concussion.
I mean, you're going to get knocked out. You're going to get concussed. You're going to have brain damage. You might die.
Clavicle problems, all kinds of stuff. But you know. My thing is, it's so funny when I see sports like this and things like this get so much popularity, and then people giving fighters and, hey, the CTE's kicking in. It's like, at least I'm trying to defend myself in a full MMA fight.
All right, today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Now, mental health awareness is growing, but there's still progress to be made. 26% of Americans that participated in a recent study said that they avoided seeking mental health support due to fear of judgment. When people hesitate to get help, it doesn't just affect them, it impacts families, workplaces, and the entire communities. This Mental Health Awareness Month, let's encourage everyone to take care of their well-being, break the stigma. The world is a better place when people are healthy and happy. Whatever it is that you're struggling with, maybe it's an addiction issue, a substance issue, maybe you're drinking too much, maybe you're just a bad-tempered bastard and you want to get a handle on that. BetterHelp is here to save the day with over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist from their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialities. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. And by the way, you can easily switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. We're all better with help. So visit betterhelp.com/believe to get 10% off your first month. I've done it. I've tried therapy. I went to anger management. It helped me out massively. And maybe you'll get the help that you need when you visit betterhelp.com/believe to get 10% off your first month.
Anyway, we got Cory freaking Sandhagen on here.
Exactly.
What's up, Cory?
Cory, we were just talking about the latest Australian sensation called Run It. It's a sport where two people just run at each other head first.
With a
have you seen this?
Hell yeah, no.
Yeah. You don't want to see it. You don't want to see it. Brother, we had to get you on today and talk about that performance at the weekend. Holy shit. I said it to you in the octagon. There was a different version. I mean, you were in total control. You were nasty. You were mean. You were trying to finish from the outset. It was a really tough opponent. You made it look easy. I mean, holy shit, Cory. That was sensational.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I appreciate you noticing that. I mean, I've been really working my butt off. Like, kind of. I wouldn't put it in maybe. I mean, definitely technically, but like the work, I guess, that I'm putting in, I guess could be factored under like mental work or whatever, or becoming mentally better or whatever. But I almost feel like it's like personality, like deep character stuff that I've really had to work on in the last bit, you know. And I'll give a lot of credit to Trevor Whittman for helping me out with a lot of that stuff, and Carrington Banks. But a really noticeable change has happened inside of like my personality after working with Trevor. I kind of just like Trevor's really big on, hey man, let yourself be confident, be confident when you say this, when you like say this with some chest, and all of that stuff. And so I kind of just been trying to do that, even though it's really uncomfortable for me just because I'm a little bit more of a humble guy. But yeah, I'm kind of just letting myself be a lot more confident. And so it's cool that you're picking up on it because sometimes I don't know.
No, dude, it's clear your whole presence for all your media stuff, even just speaking to us, everything about it. It's clear that you're ready for the time. You've had a lot of big, awesome fights with really top contenders over the years, and some have been wins, some have been losses, but you've been pretty open about how that's only just made you a better fighter and a better person. But just talk to us about how that change in attitude, and after that performance, that it's time for you to be next in line.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wanted to go out and finish Figgy. I said that I was going to finish him. And I said it with some chest like Trevor told me to do. So I was like, all right, fuck it. We're finishing this fight, like, don't be cerebral, Cory. Like, don't be like, well, Figgy's good too. And, like, let's just go out and finish him. Let's see if this shit works, So I knew that I had to go out and win big and dominate. There was a lot of grappling. I wasn't anticipating that. I knew that he was going to try to wrestle me, but I thought for the most part it would be a stand-up fight. But he was wrestling me, and then I was kind of just reversing him. And I mean, what am I going to do? Like, not be on top and like keep hitting him the way that I was able to. So yeah, it kind of turned into a fight like that, which I wasn't really expecting. And yeah, I mean, I think the only other guy in the conversation right now is Jan, and Jan fought him not too long ago, and he went 5 rounds, and it was a really competitive fight. Yep. I knew if I go out there and I finish Figgy and I dominate him the way that I did and get a finish, that I would be the next guy fighting for the belt, or at least have a fair shake at, being able to say that with some confidence. And I definitely earned that.
Well, I would be shocked, to be honest, if you weren't the next guy. I can't think of anyone else that deserves it more than you. And certainly after that performance, I was shocked that Figgy was playing the leg lock game. We all know in this day and age in mixed martial arts, that's a very, very dangerous strategy. But I just want to touch on what you were saying there a second ago about the work that you're doing with Trevor Whittman, because I always said this when Jason Perillo, my coach, he was a very good boxing coach and all that type of stuff. That was all well and good. And I learned a lot, don't get me wrong. But our best work was always after the training session. I'd be sitting in a pool of sweat on the floor, and he'd sit down next to me, and we'd talk about the mentality, talk about my emotions, talk about how I was going to approach this fight. And that is the stuff that changed me as a fighter. You get plenty of pad men out there that can hold pads, but a real trainer, a real coach, a real mentor to take you through this journey is so valuable. Can you just elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I like the words that you used. You said like it changed me, it doesn't just change like the way that you view the sport. It like changes who you actually are. I think when you get a really seasoned and really good coach who you can really trust, and I've been around the sport for a really long time now, and sometimes I can be a little bit of a know-it-all or have been known to. So when I'm working with someone new, I'm not just going to start believing what you say, but it took me a while kind of to just kind of surrender to it and just be like, all right, Banks, Trevor, you guys got this. Like, I'll let you guys mold me into what you guys need to make me in order for me to be a champ. And I'll just listen to you. And a big piece of that is Trevor like didn't shake me and was like, dude, be more confident. He was just more like, hey man, like, it's okay to be confident. Like, you can be confident. It's okay. Like, I grew up where I was not allowed to be arrogant at all. My parents just raised me like that. Like, hey man, when you do something good, you do it behind doors. When you win, you don't like shoot people down. You don't do it. So that's just how I was raised, so that's kind of built inside of me. But just letting myself be like, hey dude, I am one of the best fighters on the entire planet and maybe in all of humanity, and just like be able to say that and be okay with that and understand that that's something that one, I'm very lucky to be able to do because I'm healthy and I had an upbringing that let me be athletic and I have all of these other things, but also man, like I work my butt off in order to be that too. So yeah, he's just helping me get like a better idea of like my specialness, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's always awesome when you finally kind of connect with somebody that brings that out of you, right? Because it is tough, and I can relate to that, Cory. Whereas you're kind of taught to not do that, but you can find a way to do that and have that confidence and bravado and not be a dick, basically. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's exactly what you're doing, where you're just owning up to what you have what you've shown and what.
Because it's a wild statement to say, "Hey, I'm one of the best fighters in the world."
Ever.
Yeah, it is.
To most people, you are a cocky, arrogant bastard to say that.
Yeah,
but that's what you got to think.
But you're literally a professional prize fighter who is at the top of a division, so it's like you are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And yeah, you know, like I'm just letting myself do that for the first time, which is cool, you know, and it's just making me be a lot more open with who I am too, like online and all of that stuff, which is
that's what I wanted to ask you about. So just let's talk about that a little bit, because you're clearly a pretty funny guy and you've got funny people around you, and you are finally getting onto the social media and getting just funny, stupid, ridiculous, and gold, bro. It's gold. As somebody who liked you anyway and loved your performances and kind of gelled with who you are as a person, but to see you showing up in puffy stuff and being like, I don't know, man, this doesn't feel like me. Hilarious.
Yeah.
So, how did that all come about?
Well, I have a rule where I can only make fun of someone else if I make fun of myself 5 times before that. So that's kind of the way that I'm figuring out how to navigate not being a douchebag. But yeah, I mean, I kind of have like a weird, it's not even weird. I think it's just like, it's actually funny stuff, but actually funny stuff to me is kind of inappropriate and like borderline not okay to do, or just really silly and really stupid. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I also only really used sense of humor in the past to like get women, and now that I've been married for a long time, I'm like,
you don't need to do it.
Yeah, I'm like, why? I was like, why would I be funny? That's so much energy, you know, like,
yeah.
So yeah, I guess, and it's just really dry. Like I can't make jokes without some rapport with people, just because it's super dry and it comes across really mean, and it's got me in a lot of trouble in the past. So I kind of have that going on too, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's been fun. And I kind of am in a place where I have a lot more energy to do that kind of stuff. Before it was just like a pain in the ass. And now I feel like it's just I just have like more natural energy for it.
Yeah. So we're going to make you live through one of those videos. If anyone hasn't seen them, Brian, just in the chat there, buddy, there's a link to one of the videos that Harrington put in, because these are funny and it's great, because I love what you're doing. You're just like, I understand that you're mocking these people that are big on social media and stuff, and having it from your own kind of angle. This is great.
Things just regarding the brand, what it means to build one, who I am as a brand. And I mean, we've landed on this today. I mean, I'm not super into it, but I'm not going to act like I know any better. All I really like to do is fight, and I wish that that's all that mattered, but I guess I got to be this also. So I don't know. I guess it's fine. Me and him, we get together.
Oh, mate, who came up with that idea?
Dude, that was me. That was me, because everyone tells me I need to work on my brand and all of that shit. But also, I don't know if you watch South Park or not, but South Park has a really good episode on building a brand that I kind of drew a little bit of inspiration from. But yeah, I just think that the world that we live in is a weird ass place, and especially me just being like a normal guy inside of like having to kind of be a little bit of a public figure. If I could laugh at myself from like an outsider, like look at what the is happening to Cory right now, like that would be super funny.
And then you were sitting down with Oscar Willis and like doing like the
your therapy session.
Doing the therapy session about your dead dog and stuff. Yeah, no, awesome, mate.
R.I.P. Over.
Let me ask you, Mariusz Pudzianowski, Sean O'Malley #2. You're going to get the winner more than likely. I mean, I'd put money on it. I'd make a bet. Who wins that fight? Who are you facing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's going to look pretty much the same as the first one, most likely. And that's kind of just being that O'Malley was couched probably for like 2 of however long that was stint in between their first fight. But man, I just don't really see O'Malley being able to get good enough at grappling in that time while he was hurt. I also think that Merab was getting ready for a title fight, had another title fight, is like way more experienced because that was a tough ass fight for him. And while Merab's been working and doing all this stuff, I'm sure that O'Malley has too, but there's not work like getting ready for a championship fight. There's not work like fighting for a championship belt. Like Merab got a lot more in this off time than I think O'Malley did. I also think too, though, that I'm definitely not going to count O'Malley out. I think that he's a really smart guy, and I think that he's a really he has a really good eye for the sport, so he'll probably figure out some really good stuff. So I'm not going to count him out either, and he's got big power, and Merab's a pretty sloppy striker, getting better, but still a little bit like has holes, just like we all do. But yeah, I mean, my money would be on Merab, but I'm certainly not counting O'Malley out either.
Yeah. And
what do you guys think? Are you guys allowed to say?
I'm not calling it. I'm not calling it. And I would say your assessment is pretty damn spot on, just because of injuries from Sean, having time where he's been not necessarily in the gym pushing that kind of I got a 5-round title fight pace on the line. And Merab is he's nuts. That's all he's doing. Do you know what I mean? Especially if he's not hurt or out. That's all he's doing is focusing on getting ready and beating a guy like Sean again. You know, and I think you present problems in a way, especially after that showing with Figgy, where so much of it was in the ground, was in the transitions, was sneaky kind of 50-50, like leg lock game, like that stuff that like you just did on Saturday, where you submitted him via knowing where the legs need to be at the right time to force something to pop, and him making a mistake on that. That's high level jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. You know what else I heard Sean O'Malley say too recently, where I was kind of like, I don't really know, is he said that he was talking, I think maybe on Ariel's show, but he was talking about how he grappled more in like the last week than he did for the entire Merab fight or something. But then he went on and was like, we just did like 6-7 minute rounds or whatever it was. And I was like, bro, you're doing the wrong type of grappling then, because it's not jiu-jitsu, dude. Like jiu-jitsu is not the answer for MMA. Wrestling is the answer for MMA. There's like small spots where like, yeah, you can like enter into certain leg entanglements kind of, and then like maybe use them to get up or whatever. But dude, like if you're wrestling, like 3-minute rounds, 3 5-minute rounds is like more than enough to get like a day's worth of work in. So I'm kind of in my head, I'm like, oh, dude, you're just doing more jiu-jitsu. Like that's not going to be the answer for beating the same
thing.
You know, like it's you know, like if you're able to go that long, you're not wrestling. You know.
Yeah. I fully agree. Before we let you get out of here, Cory, pay-per-view this weekend. Belal Muhammad, Jack Della Maddalena. Who walks away as the welterweight champion of the world?
I think Belal's going to win that one. I think Jack's super good. He's really tough, but I mean, Belal just there's something about Belal where he's able to win so dominantly, and it's not the most impressive, most fun thing to watch for some people, but dominance kind of isn't. And yeah, I think Belal will take it.
All right. Good point. There it is. Yeah. Place your bets. Cory's got Belal. Cory, congrats, man. That was a sensational performance.
When's the next dabbling in mushrooms, Cory?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I like leaning into that stuff because everyone I feel like thinks I'm like a big pothead mushroom guy, but I actually don't mess around with that stuff hardly at all. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when the trees want to talk to me again. I don't know.
I love it though. And again, it's one of those things where you can't be doing it like too much, but as somebody that has dabbled, that would be fun. If I ever see Cory Sandhagen talking to a tree, I'm asking for some, and I'm joining you.
Right, Cory, thanks, guys. Congrats on the fight. Thanks, good luck getting that title fight. I guarantee it's going to be next. But yeah, man, enjoy this moment. We'll talk soon.
Cool. Peace, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, by the way, we still got Eddie Hall and we still got Sam Alvey. Knocked out Tyrone Spong. That was unbelievable. I don't think anyone saw that coming, so we'll talk to him in a little bit. But it's a pay-per-view this weekend as well. Your friend, Belal Muhammad, taking on Jack Della Maddalena. This is a close fight. I kind of joked before about Belal. People do like to talk shit about Belal. All right. I get it. He hasn't been getting the finishes, but he's a nice guy, man. He's a nice guy, and underestimate him at your peril.
Yeah, he is a very nice guy. He is all about his family. He's all about his causes. He's all about, and I think people take his trolling online sometimes way too seriously, and he's just giving it back. He's just, if you're already going to give shit to him and talk crap, he's just going to embrace it and be the heel. He doesn't care if you love him or hate him. He just wants to win those fights and become champion, and became champion, and now wants to hold on to it. He's so funny. When you actually just hang out with him in person and train with him, he's an amazing training partner. He's a good friend, and he's obviously a fantastic fighter as well. Yeah.
He missed the boat once, though, on one of his social media videos that he did years ago. You probably didn't see it. Did you ever see the video he did, Falafel Mafia, with Karen Bryant? Did you see that? Brian, see if you can find it. I was like, oh, God, what is this shite? It was Karen Bryant and Belal Muhammad doing a rap video. But anyway, whatever. Who cares? Your face said it all. The Falafel Mafia. However,
a little cringe, as the kids would say.
He just beat Leon Edwards to become the champ. His first title fight against Jack Della Maddalena. He beats him, or the plan will be to beat him the exact same way that he fought Leon Edwards. I would say the difference between these two is that Leon is very economical with his strikes. He doesn't have the highest output. Jack Della Maddalena is more of a boxer versus a kickboxer, and he has really good footwork. I think we're going to see Jack Della Maddalena very light on the feet. Like if I was fighting Belal Muhammad, it would be dancing all over the place, picking him apart, and not being afraid to have a few people boo. Just know I can't let this guy come forward and clinch me, because if Belal gets his hands on you, he's going to ragdoll you. Okay. So you got to pump the jab, lots of uppercuts. Don't throw kicks unless it's to the head and on your bike. Obviously, you want to stand your ground. You can't run away the whole time. But at the end of each combination, angle off and then take 2 or 3 steps left or right and then go again.
Yeah, I think it's similar to what you said at the end there, too, is the angles are going to be important, too, because if he just moves away, then, well, obviously, like you talked about, he's not going to be landing any strikes. So at some points, he does have to be the aggressor. He does have to really try to let these combos go, and he's got to be moving forward, but while cutting angles, so that when Belal is shooting, you're already landing your shot and then moving off, because Belal has a really good ability to string things together and hide it behind his strikes. I know a lot of people give him crap for his striking, but he uses it very effectively in combination with his grappling. He's okay with missing a takedown, coming up, throwing a few more punches, and then before you were even thinking about addressing and countering, he's back in on a single leg, trying to press you against the fence. And he does a really good job of wrestling on the cage. So Jack can't rely on the cage for pure defense there. A lot of guys out in the open, they might struggle, but if they get themselves to the fence and they can get themselves on that wall, they can fight takedowns really well. Whereas Belal, that's where he does some of his best takedowns, is up against the fence.
So we're going to do predictions between the 4 of us. I mean, I love Jack Della Maddalena. Really cool guy. Really chill. But someone's going to win. Someone's going to lose. I think Belal Muhammad. I think Belal gets it done. I think Jack is really good. Certainly, with the way that he beat Gilbert Burns, he finished him in the 3rd round. He was doing well anyway. It was a relatively competitive fight. Burns was having some moments on that scramble. He jumped back to his feet quicker, landed that big knee, got the finish. But Belal's still very much in his prime, whereas respectfully, Gilbert's, he's getting older now, probably getting towards the twilight of his career. I think that's fair. But I'll say Belal via decision.
Yeah, I'm gonna also go with Belal. Sorry, I'm not gonna counter you on that one. And I agree. It'll probably be a decision, but I think if there's a finish, it would be Jack finding a way to land on the chin. But I just don't see that happening. I do think that Belal is I think he's on point right now, man, and he's really coming to his own. So Belal.
Yeah, Harrington, Brian, jump on. Let's have a 4-shot. Come on, Harrington. Who wins this fight? Who takes it? Someone's got to say Jack. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying Jack from the jump. I don't know. There's something about this kid. He has faced the adversity in fights like Gilbert Burns. We know he knows how to come back late, even in that fight when he's down on the scorecards heading into the third round. I don't think he's ever going to quit on himself. I don't think Belal said he thinks he's going to break him by the third round. I don't think there's break in Jack Della Maddalena. So I think Belal's going to be shocked when this kid's still coming at him in the fourth and fifth rounds, and I think he finds a finish late.
I think with the way that Belal's been fighting recently, I think he beats Jack Della Maddalena. I don't think dude has the gas tank to go with Belal like that.
Okay. So 3-1 in favor of Belal Muhammad. Harrington, the lone horse, taking on Jack Della Maddalena. It's a bold strategy, Cotton, but it just might pay off.
Yeah. And if we get Belal on next week, Harrington, we're going to need you to come on screen and really own up to that. Okay.
100%.
We are going to have Belal on next week. If you can't make that happen, Paul, I'm going to be
we can make that happen. We'll make that happen. He's very busy, obviously. He would have been willing to do today, too. But since we've got so many good guests and he's in fight week, it's like if he gets a victory, I think it's a even better time to get him on here and chat with him anyway.
Of course, the fight will be happening at the Bell Center in Montreal, home to the legendary George St. Pierre. George sent me a text message this morning saying you're going to be in Montreal. I'll take you out. And I was like, man, I would have loved to have been. And I'll never share private conversations if there's anything bad. But this is what George said. What did he say?
Michael, will you be around?
Perhaps, Michael, it's better this way because I am under the impression that we have done a lot of damage together in Montreal and probably we would lose 2-3 years of our life. So maybe this is for the best. Oh, George is the man. I'm devastated. I would have loved to have got him toured up in Montreal. Have you ever fought in Canada, Paul?
Twice.
3 times.
Yeah.
The fans are amazing.
Yes. Yeah.
The Canadians, they love it. Brian's got this teed up. This is my last time fighting at the Bell Center in Montreal. We're going to take a look at a bit of admiration for the knees.
I remember. Oh, dude. How many knees do you land in this particular one? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There was more. I'm going to say 9 or 10 knees at least.
Yeah. So that was me in my prime. Jesus Christ, I was young. Who did you fight in Canada?
I fought Alessandro Ricci the second time I fought there. That was the up elbow victory, and then I fought my debut in Canada in Halifax against this kid Jason Salgo, and split decision. First fight, nervous as all hell. It was a Rory McDonald card. I was a big fan. I remember signing the posters at the same time and being like, what am I doing here? Like, I don't belong here signing posters at the same time as this guy. And, I got the W. Well, I pulled it off.
Do you know who else had his first fight in mixed martial arts kind of recently? He is the strongest man in the world. He had a phenomenal performance and you disrespected him by sleeping in. So I had to do all the work. Here's me and Eddie Hall a little bit earlier. Well, of course, we are joined by the one and only Eddie Hall, the world's strongest man, looking very, very big and mean and successful, grinning like a Cheshire cat after that unbelievable performance last week. Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, it was good. I put a lot of work into the prep for that fight, so to see it come to fruition, or everything we worked on was great, Couldn't be happier.
I mean, Pudzianowski's been around a long time. Obviously, you guys have very similar backgrounds. Mate, you smoked him. You absolutely smoked him.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of what do they call it when a win's not like quite satisfying, because he's like one of my heroes. It's like Mariusz Pudzianowski is someone I grew up watching strongman, massively respected from myself and the whole strongman community. So it was a bit of a weird one, beating Mariusz up, but the 28 seconds I think the fight was called in, and it was great. I mean, the guy's had, that was his 27th professional MMA fight, and that was my first. So when you talk about amateurs coming in and you get into the circuit, you perhaps your first fight, you want to fight someone that's had maybe 2-3 fights. You've had 10 fights. You want to fight someone who's had 12, 15 fights. I just came in with 0 fights and thought, fuck it, I'll just go for the gauntlet. Fuck it.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, you've elevated yourself and put yourself in deep waters, and I'm sure you've got tons of options. But just real quick before we get onto that stuff, with it being your first fight, Eddie, because I watched it back and I did like a little YouTube reaction. When I first had my, I don't know, 10, 15 fights even, I couldn't remember what happened in the fight because as you get more into your career, you learn to control your emotions. And it looked to me like you were just like ready to go. Were you just like crazy high on adrenaline?
No, I was actually pretty calm. I was actually very sort of like grounded in the situation. But the plan was, as soon as we land a shot on him, like a good clean shot, if his eyes roll, finish him off. And that's exactly what happened. So I was more than willing to go the 2 4-minute rounds. Like I was anticipating to go the 2 4-minute rounds. But in the first 10 seconds, I threw a 1-2. And I missed the second, and then as I sort of was off balance, but as I was coming back up, I was like, throw another one, caught him square in the face, and his eyes rolled. I was like, this is my moment, and just plowed in. So it worked anyway.
Well, sadly for him now, he's getting called out by all sorts. You know, the 2 midgets that you beat up last time, they want to get their hands on Pudzianowski. What have you done to this guy?
So the Nafati brothers. So they actually did a 2v1. They did a 2v1, I think it was last month, against a big Polish guy, and they actually won. They beat him. Right. So, yeah, it sounds good that they're calling Mariusz out. I'm glad they're calling Mariusz out. That's quite funny.
Yeah, no, exactly. Obviously, congrats, successful debut, and he does have a lot of experience. I mean, you're kind of the talk of the town now, Eddie. I mean, you've got a big name. You're very, very well known. You had a great career as a strongman. Is this the focus going forward, the life as a professional fighter?
I wouldn't say that. I've got no aspirations to be like a ranked fighter. Like I don't want to be number 1 in the world. I don't even want to be in the top 50 in the world. It's just that's not me. I think where I belong is the freak fights. It is the me versus Mariusz Pudzianowski worked because it was a world's strongest man versus a world's strongest man. And we're both huge guys. It worked. I think, if I were to go in against a world champion that only weighed 100 kilo, it's sort of a lose-lose for me because if I win, it's like, oh, well, you beat someone at half your size. And if you lose, you got beat by someone half your size. So it's sort of like a lose-lose. So I think I belong in sort of the freak fight scenario, the 2v1s, fighting the Mariusz Pudzianowskis of the world. And that's where I want to go with it, really. I've got no ambition to be a ranked fighter at all.
And that's actually really honest of you, I respect that because I understand what you're saying there. But what you're doing is, you're trading off your name and your reputation, and you can go out there and you can have these freak show fights, still get paid a lot of money, still have a lot of fun, and use your skills that you've acquired.
Yeah, no, that's the main thing is having fun. And, I sort of handpicked this fight about a year ago, and throughout the whole process, it's been a bit of drag, but throughout the whole process, I kept having to remind myself that I wanted this fight. I asked for this fight. I set this fight up. Everything. I wanted this. And it's like, the second you don't want to get in the ring with someone is really the time that you shouldn't really be fighting. And the fact that I wanted to fight Mariusz, it made it fun. If I were to get in the ring, like if I was going to be fighting Francis Ngannou or John Jones, that would be like, in the anticipation for that, it'd be like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what life choices have I made to put myself in this situation? And that wouldn't be fun for me. That would just be stressful.
Yeah, but I think you do better. I think, obviously you're being humble, but you're a lump. You're a handful for anyone, Eddie. And I did see you say last week, forget Francis Ngannou. But now I see that you've done a little bit of a U-turn, and given the correct preparation, you could be convinced to take on somebody like that.
Yeah, no, I got asked the question straight after I fought Mariusz, and I was like, look, guys, just don't put my name in the same conversation as Francis Ngannou. That's just ridiculous. But having thought about it, and I've actually had a few nudges from some federations, it's like, look, you put me in the ring with Francis Ngannou with good training. Don't get me wrong. I think probably 95 times out of 100, Francis Ngannou wins that fight. But it's that 5%. It's that I've just got that knockout power. If I get that, it's still a human being at the end of the day. If I get that on the end of your chin, you're going to sleep. And that's why in my head, right, I'm like, why not? You know, if the money's right, the money's got to be right to risk your life. Why wouldn't I take that fight? I've got a small chance and I'd take it.
Yeah, and that's what life's all about. You got to take risks, you got to take chances and make the most of things. And he is, realistically, he's not with the UFC. I know he's with PFL, but he would be one of the only people that you could get one of these gigantic fights with. When you say some federations have reached out, is that like official talks and discussions?
Nothing's official yet. They're all just playful conversations. You know, there's one guy I was speaking to who I think represents John Jones, and he was asking about other fighters. I was like, give me John. Fuck it, give me John. Obviously, that's a very playful conversation, but those are I'm like, look, if the money's right, I'll take it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I did see a comment that you made that kind of made me laugh. You weighed in at 334 pounds, which is a big old lump, but you felt anorexic in there. You felt very skinny.
I did. You got to think at my peak, I was 433 pounds, so I'm 100 pounds down from when I was at my biggest. And I lost because we agreed a year ago in the setup for this fight, we agreed 2-minute rounds, right? Which suits me down to the ground. I was 160 kilo, 360 pounds. I was like, I can do 2-minute rounds all day long. And then 7 weeks out from the fight, Mariusz Pudzianowski put a stipulation in, it's 5-minute rounds or I'm not fighting. And he wouldn't budge. And we somehow met in the middle at 4-minute rounds. So I had to lose 10 kilo, which is pretty much 20 pounds, over 20 pounds. So I went from 360 to 330. And I just felt, it just didn't suit me. I felt all right. I was fit, but it just didn't feel right. You know, I didn't feel as strong, as powerful as I wanted to.
Well, I mean, as someone who's spent their entire life trying to get as strong as possible and to build muscle, I mean, I guess that goes against everything you stand for.
100%. I didn't touch a weight for 12 weeks, which was, it's just that I've never done that for as long as I've been training from the age of 13. I've always done weights 4 times a week. And that was a hard thing to do. To not touch weights for 3 months was tough.
How old are you now, Eddie?
37.
37. Because I'm 46 now, and I'm lifting weights 4 or 5 times a week. Dude, I am sore as hell. It's like I'm waking up every day and I'm like, this is supposed to be good for me. It's supposed to be healthy. But I woke up, I was just in, where was I? I was in Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa. And I woke up Friday morning and I had a good leg day the day before. And I was just like, fuck this. I'm sick of feeling like this.
Yeah, no, I have days like that all the time. But I did a massive change in my diet recently, probably about 6 months ago, and it's helped the inflammation so much. So I basically just eat now meat, eggs, and dairy. I don't eat any vegetables or fruits.
Same.
And I feel like my inflammation's come right down. Feel incredible. Feel really good.
Yeah, so I've been having this conversation with a lot of people. I first heard about this a few years ago, and I wasn't too sure about it, but now I'm seeing a lot of stuff on social media that apparently a lot of the vegetables are full of oxalates and they're not good for you, and our gut isn't designed to break them down and stuff like that. And essentially, we shouldn't be eating vegetables. Is that kind of the process that you're using, or is it just straight carnivore without that kind of information added?
No, I that's what my understanding as well is. Like, we can obviously absorb and utilize fruits and vegetables in very small doses, but I think we've come accustomed, as the human race has come accustomed to eating huge amounts of potatoes and pasta and carrots, and it's just we're getting more of the stuff we should be having minuscule portions of than we are the meat, and that you got to think, as cavemen, all we ate back then was animal meat, organs, liver, kidneys. That's all we ate, and it's only the last what 500 years or so we've just switched to eating potatoes and carrots, and we're ourselves basically.
It's the last 60 years, isn't it, with this food pyramid that came out, which is absolute bullshit, and we all know that you got to flip the food pyramid upside down. But take us through an average day of eating then, Eddie. What are you consuming?
So I'm sitting. I just come out of camp, so I was doing like 4,500 calories a day in camp, and that's to lose weight.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, that was to lose weight. So I usually eat about 7,000 calories a day, and it's pretty simple. It's just like salmon, cottage cheese for breakfast. Snacks is pork scratchings. Lunch, I'm always having like usually half a kilo to a kilo ribeye steak with duck eggs, black pudding. You know what black pudding is? I'm sure you do.
Mate, come on.
Yeah, of course.
What are you talking about? I love a bit of black pudding.
I forgot you from the UK. Yeah,
come on, mate. Don't forget that.
The USA isn't really like, what the black pudding? It's like one of the best things on planet Earth. And then pretty much the same for dinner. You know, it's literally just meat, eggs, and a little bit of dairy.
When I was cutting weight, and obviously you weigh in afterwards, the meal afterwards was ridiculous. And I used to go from 185 pounds. That night, I'd be back up to 205, something like that. And it was quite ridiculous. But I can only imagine what yours looked like. What did you have after the weigh-in?
It's not one meal. It's the week. It's the entire week. So up until the fight, I think I had a cheesecake the night before the fight just to sort of treat myself and just take my mind off things. But after the fight, yeah, I've spent the entire week. I've eaten pretty healthy, but I've had cheesecakes, I've had crisps. I'm just like carnivore out the window. I'm just going to eat chocolate and sweets. Piled it in. I put 10 kilo on in a week. So back up to 360 pounds.
Yeah, but a lot of that's just water weight, though, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
Because everyone says that about Paddy Pimblett. Oh, my God, he's put on so much weight. It's like, dude, you start eating all the good stuff, all the snacks, all the treats. Your body hangs on to water. So it's very, very easy to do. So what else is going on in your world, Eddie? What's next for you?
So I'm going back over to Denver, Colorado to compete in arm wrestling against America's Strongest Man, Robert Oberst. And that's with Brian Shaw. And then I'm hoping to get another fight booked in sort of November, December time. Again, just having these conversations. I don't know who with or when. But if that fails, I'm probably going to use the bulk I'm going to do. I'm going to put size and strength on for the arm wrestling. If the fight news doesn't come in, I'll just cut up and do a bodybuilding show. Because I've not done one yet. And I just fancy stepping on stage just once, just doing like a 5 to 6 month cut and just seeing what I look like on the stage as a one-off.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we've got to look good in the mirror. The arm wrestling, is that lucrative, Eddie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's quite rewarding. Yeah. Very rewarding, very easy to train for. It's just like 20 minutes a day, little movements. So it's a piece of piss to train for, you know? So it doesn't really take away from, I can do my YouTube, I can still train weights. It doesn't affect anything, you know, and it's fun.
Yeah. I arm wrestled someone when I was doing power slap recently. I arm wrestled one of the guys. He was super heavyweight and he had like the biggest biceps or something like that, according to him. So I'm like, come on, let's have a go. That was about 2 months ago. My elbow is still destroyed. I absolutely
you have to be so careful.
My elbow.
Yeah.
And then it starts getting better. And then I get back in the gym and start lifting weights and it goes right back to square one. So Be careful, Eddie. Be careful.
Mate, I've been there. I did an arm wrestle with Brian Shaw in, I'm going to say like 2018. It was like backstage at a strongman event. And we did left hand. We're both right-handed. Like, let's do the left hand so we don't hurt each other. Both of us went for it. I actually beat him. But none of us said nothing. We were on a TV show doing the strongest man in history for months. And after about 4 months, we did an event. I was like, oh, my arm. And he's like, is your arm hurting? I was like, yeah. He's like, since we arm wrestled, my arm's been killing me. Neither of us would admit that we hurt each other. But once we both admitted it, every time we like lifted something on set, oh, my elbow. And that went on for about 8 months. So
mine's destroyed. Mine's destroyed. It is. You mentioned on set there. You got a movie coming up soon, right?
Yes. So it's like an Indiana Jonesy sort of James Bond style action film with Russell Crowe and Mel Gibson, and I'm sort of on screen for the entire film. So yeah,
no way.
Hoping that pulls off. Just waiting for a date. Really, it's going to be this year though.
Oh, congrats! Yeah, no, I've got 2 lead movie roles myself coming up soon.
You know, well done, man. That's boss.
Yeah, but there ain't no Russell Crowe or anyone in it. They're low budget, but still, you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's what I'm training like a madman for, trying to slim down because I got to have my shirt off. I'm like, shit, yeah. You do know I'm 46 and I'm not in my prime anymore. But congrats on that, Eddie, because, you know, for me, anytime I talk about like doing a film or anything, I kind of start to cringe just hearing myself talk about it. But you obviously had your path in the world. And when you get these opportunities, I mean, why wouldn't you take them, right?
100%. And being top level athletes like me and you people, when I said I was going to get into acting, like people, you can always see it in the face. They're sort of like you can't
scoffing.
fucking act. Yeah, it's just like backhanded sort of like scoffing and compliments and whatever. But it's like, if you're going to be a top level athlete, there's no doubt in my mind, if you can be a top level athlete, you can be a top level actor, because you have to dedicate yourself to it, to put the work in, to do the acting lessons, to do the speech therapy. And I've done all that, and I'm sure you have. And that's what makes us successful. We don't go half-arsed. If we say we're going to do a leading role film, we're going to practice, we're going to do a lines, we're going to do an acting lesson, speech therapy, do the lot.
My problem is there's 2 back-to-back. So I'm trying to learn 2 sets of scripts. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I've been hitting the head a million times. Remembering stuff is not my forte. All right, well, listen, Eddie, it's always a pleasure talking to you, mate. So next time we see you, not on a movie set, if you had to gamble, who are you stepping in there with?
Oh, hell.
I think the Ngannou, just keep making noise on that.
People keep making noise on the Ngannou, so I think that's probably the most likely right now.
That's insane. What do you think? I mean, I don't want to ask for numbers, but are we talking like over 1 million, over 2 million? What are we saying, Eddie?
Oh, I mean, we're risking my life, so it's got to be over. It's going to be 8 figures probably.
Let's go. Good for you.
Yeah.
What's the name of the supplement company? Beast Nutrition?
Beast Farm. So I do clothing and protein and everything else. Yeah.
Still waiting on my care package, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. You
never sent me your address.
I will send you my address, but I'm only joking for the most part. Eddie, you're a gentleman. Congrats on last weekend. All the best with everything going forward. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you, mate.
And you. Thank you, buddy. Take care, man.
Anytime, Eddie. Take care. All right, Eddie Hall, one of the nicest guys, or soundest. Do you know the expression sound, Paul?
Yes, I do.
He's a very sound guy. He's a very sound man. And he's a very big, strong, angry man that's not against fighting Francis Ngannou. I mean, fair play, but he wants 8 figures for it. And he just might get it in this day and age.
Yeah, man, with the way that these kind of big, I don't want to say freak show fights are going.
That's what he called them. He called them. I only want freak show fights.
Yeah. I mean, he knows that, right? As a former world's strongest man and just a huge human being, obviously it's got to be. He doesn't even fit into one of our current divisions, so it's got to be kind of a sideshow type fight for it to happen. But hey, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I'll tell Eddie, because like we recorded that earlier. I'm going to tell him you called him a freak. It's fine. But from one freak, as you called him, to one freakily good female mixed martial artist, Valentina Shevchenko, in the co-main event of UFC 315, taking on Manon Fiorot. Paul, who wins this fight? Give us the breakdown. Let's go.
I mean, I'm going to go with Valentina just because I think that she has got so much experience in these types of 5-round title fights. I think she can mix things up. I think if it's not going well on the feet, she can wrestle. I think if Manon is trying to pressure her too much and try to make it a clinch battle, she can outstrike and point and use her kicks, use her spinning back kick, use leg kicks, touch that inside leg kick. I just think she's too well-rounded everywhere to lose a 5-round fight against Manon Fiorot in this matchup. I'm going with the champ, Valentina.
Yeah, I mean, I am a big fan of Manon Fiorot. I think she's really fun to watch. She's nasty. She's a really good striker. But she's also French, right? And what I mean by that is I don't mean, she's French, she can't fight. What I mean is she doesn't have the wrestling credentials or the grappling credentials in general that Valentina has acquired throughout her very long and storied career in mixed martial arts. We saw last time against Alexa Grasso, the wrestling was the difference. She's got great ground and pound. She's got excellent submissions. Of course, she's a world-class kickboxer, before she came over to the UFC. So she's got the standing capability. She's got that kind of nailed off, but I don't think that's the fight we're going to see. She's going to stand with her and then set up a takedown. And I think once she gets it down, I think she might finish her. I think she could finish her on the ground, Yeah. What do you think? The one and only Sam Alvey, Valentina Shevchenko.
I logged on and I thought I was on here already. It's like, man, how'd that happen?
Oh, look at this. It's the attack of the gingers. I'm out of it.
Yeah, guys. You're outnumbered now. You're outnumbered, Michael.
See, I don't want to be here.
Oh, he put himself out. He put himself out. Come on back, Mike.
I'm back. I'm back, baby. Hey,
you know what you just said is going to get clipped. It's a UK fighter claims French girl can't fight because she's French.
Oh, it'll be a headline for sure.
Oh, it should be.
I never said that. We do need to get what's his name? Tim Welch on. That'd be hilarious.
Tim Welch and Ed Herman. We get the shoot Bo Nickal. We'll get 5 of us on here.
Don't get Bo Nickal. The numbers will drop. I'm joking. Bo's the man. As are you, Sam Alvey. Holy shit! Right. Let me just set the table. You're in the UFC. You're having a great career. You go on a losing streak. Okay. You go and reinvent yourself. You're in karate combat. You become the champion. Then you get a fight against Tyrone Spong, one of the fiercest strikers to ever walk the planet. Let's be honest. He's a bad mother. And you knock him out cold. Walk us through this here, please, Sam.
Yeah, shoot. I tell you, in the UFC, I had a lot of things. Not going against me, just not going my way. And I needed to rebound. So when I tell everyone, the UFC never cut me. We mutually decided not to work together anymore. So I left the UFC. And I was having a hard time finding a fight. Like I talked to BKFC, I talked to smaller promotion. I couldn't find anything. An old promotion I commentated for, they said, hey, we'll give you someone. It's got to be heavyweight. And I said, okay, I'll take what I can get. Won that, and immediately I reached out to Karate Combat, and they had a line of people that said they wanted to fight me. I said, I'm in. I mean, they all wanted a piece. I said, okay, this sounds great. And they've taken full advantage of me in a good way. They've put me against the best in the world. I fought UFC veterans in Arroyo. I fought maybe another kickboxing legend and Ross Levine. I fought a lot of studs so far. But when they offered me Spong, like, oh my God, that's a name. I've had so many fights, but this is the first fight where every comment I read was Spong's going to kill Alvey. I mean, it's literally, everyone thought I was going to die. And I said, well, man, maybe there's something I haven't seen in him. I know his resume, but I don't think he's going to kill me. On paper, it seems like a fair fight. And it was great.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, dude. And, I was talking to Michael about it this weekend when we saw it, and then we were trying to figure out if we were going to get you on the show, but it wasn't like some wild exchange. It wasn't some lucky shot. I mean, you went out there, you jabbed, you dipped, you like set up a beautiful left hand. So how much better does it even feel that it wasn't in some like dog type fight? You had a clean knockout over a really high level kickboxer. And was that something that you're working? Was that a combo you're trying to put together to begin with? Because you pump faked him so well, that hand just came down just a little bit, and there was almost a hesitation on that left. I mean, dude, it was clean.
Yeah, no, it's something I've been working with for a minute. And I threw it earlier in the fight. I just didn't land. It was a jab to the head, jab to the body, coming up with the cross while I'm still low. It was kind of the same, but then I threw the offbeat into it. And I can say I did it on purpose, but it just came out that way.
It looked good.
It looked good.
Been working on everyone. I went out to I train here at Guardian MMA in Tennessee, and it works on people here, and I'm teaching it up to people. And then I went out to Extreme Couture and Team Quest here for the remainder of my camp. And I was having a lot of success with it. So it's one of those things, and I can't think of another time where it's worked out that way. But what I had been working on, what I'd been practicing and trying, it paid off.
Yeah, I mean, paid off big time. Sam, it's quite an inspirational story because you've had 54 professional mixed martial arts contests. You're getting close to being 40 years old. What are you, 38?
Yeah, I'm 39 tomorrow.
Whoa, well, happy birthday for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Almost 40 years old. Then you go down to Karate Combat. You're the heavyweight champion. You've defended the belt multiple times. Just talk to me about your story, because I think a lot of fighters, if they part ways with the UFC, they start thinking, shit, that's it. That's the end of the road. But you have found massive success since you've left, and I couldn't be happier for you.
Yeah, I tell all the young fighters that winning is the most important. You have to win. But a close second is you have to be remembered. You have to do something that people want to see, that people will connect you with. And I've always had a career that did pretty well with that. I had a personality to me, whether it's I just smile. I mean, shoot, people remember me more by the smile than my name. But it was something that just added a little bit to my career, and it made Karate Combat want to see me in there again. You know, people watch Smiley, and just getting the opportunity to do what I'm doing at such a high level it's a blessing. And I'm you know, again, winning is the first thing. You got to win, and I've been doing that. But the little extra I've put on top of my career has really helped me in this resurgence.
Yeah, and with the rules in Karate Combat, Sam, do you feel like that just, especially after a career in so much MMA and fighting at the highest level in the UFC, do you think that was fun to kind of have something new to look forward to and have to train for, and in a unique pit type arena? Was that something that you think kind of gave you a little bit of extra energy going, all right, this is new. This is something I haven't done before.
The pit, absolutely. I love that pit. You know, I fought in rings, I fought in cages, I fought just about everywhere. That pit is really cool. And the pit is, now if you look at my UFC career, the rise and fall of my career there was I back up. I was a counter fighter. You know, I would fight with my back foot touching the cage like every time. And people figured out how to stop that. The pit, I can't do that. The pit, if I fight with that back foot on the cage, and Spong got me to do it more than I wanted to. Man, he just controlled the ring. I didn't expect him to be able to do that, but the pit, for the most part, has forced me forwards, and it's changed timing. It's changed the way I fight a little bit, and I really appreciate the pit for that. And it's so much fun to fight in there. You just feel like a movie character when you're in there.
Yeah, it feels almost like a blood sport, right? But in like a reverse way. You know what I mean?
Mortal Kombat.
Yes. The kumite. A few years ago, they actually did a kumite. And
I saw some of that.
Yeah, it was great.
Nice.
Let me ask you, and we'll talk a bit more about Karate Combat, but you said you want to be remembered for your fights, of course, remembered for the knockout power, remembered for the big smile, but also, Sam, you always have your wife in your corner.
Mm-hmm.
I've
got over 80 fights, and she's been to all but one. She is there. Yeah, I'm going to post some stuff on Instagram here later tonight. But my warm up, that's the other thing I've changed since the UFC. When I'm backstage, I spar 5 rounds. Now it's easy. They're 3-minute rounds as opposed to the UFC's 5. She's my sparring partner for 1, 3, and 5 every fight, and then whoever my other corner is gets the other 2. But it's the rules are saying don't cut me and don't knee me in the ribs. Other than that, you do what you got to do. And we fight backstage.
But do you ever, if she's pissed you off, just give her a little firm one to the body? Fucking have that. That steak was overcooked.
No, because I'm scared she'll give me back.
I'm kidding, of course.
She'll get you back in other ways, Sam.
Yeah, man. You know, I broke her nose once sparring at the gym.
Oh.
Didn't mean to.
So let me ask you, Mortal Kombat, obviously, the President Awesome Asim, he's a great guy. He's been on the show. He's doing fantastic things. Just talk to me about the whole experience when you're flying out to places like Dubai and competing on Mortal Kombat, Karate Combat. What am I saying? Sorry, pardon me. But just talk to me about the whole process.
So Karate Combat, of course, nothing's as big as the UFC, but Karate Combat presents itself as big as the UFC, and it does everything it can to make sure the fighters are front and center. And President Awesome has done a better job of that than just about any promoter I've ever been able to work with before. He really focuses on the not just the happiness of its fighters, but the ability for the fighters to promote themselves. Because if a fighter can promote themselves, they'll promote the league too. And he's just gone out of his way to make sure every fighter from the first fight on the card to the main event feels special for us at least a little bit leading up to that card.
Yeah, that's awesome. How many fights have you had in Karate Combat so far?
5 or 6. I think 5 fights. Yeah.
Is it easier?
I can tell you right now, 4 wins, 1 no contest off the top of my head, Paul. I'm not looking at Wikipedia.
No, you're not looking at the stats at all.
4 wins, 1 no contest.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. And do you find it in training to be, because I watch a lot of the clips and I see a lot of fights of guys that I've trained with over the years or whoever are fighting in Karate Combat. But with the ground, now they've changed it a little bit, right? You can take somebody down, but it's a limited amount of time, Sam?
So when I first started fighting with Karate Combat, it was a limited time on the ground. They give you like 5 long seconds of being able to fight. They changed it now because fighters were almost getting the finish and then the time would run out. So now you are allowed on the ground as long as you're trying to finish. If there's a lull or they hide under me or they attach themselves,
stand you back up.
But as long as I'm fighting to finish, they're going to let it go. And the wrestling, so more or less Greco. Both hands can't touch under the hips. I can throw anyone, and I can body lock. I can do little pushes. I can do upper body kind of takedowns.
So as long as there's some violence going on, then the fight will continue. I like it.
The way I describe it, I love wrestling and jiu-jitsu, but it is the boring part of every fight. Karate Combat just did away with it.
And let me ask you, financially, I don't want numbers, but financially, these guys are taking care of you. You're happy with everything?
I am very happy with Karate Combat. It is still my full-time job, and it's hard to do outside of the UFC, but Karate Combat's taking care of me, and that I keep winning doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
well, Sam,
for real.
That's amazing, man. It really is. And I couldn't be happier for you. You're a class act. Yeah. Well, listen, we're going to let you go, buddy. We had to get you on. So what's next? What do you do next?
Well, what's next? I'm trying to fight Eddie Hall. I wish I would have seen your. I wish I would have seen your. I forgot. I missed it. I get, after, after both you guys know, after every fight, your inbox is just flooded. I didn't see your message until too late. But Eddie Hall is the fight I want.
So I'll tell you what he said. Eddie Hall was on. He just wants freak show fights or big fights, whatever they are. So you are officially calling out Eddie Hall, Karate Combat, or wherever the hell it has to take place. Probably Karate Combat. Come on, give it some. Make the call out. Make it spicy. Make the headlines.
As I said, Eddie Hall, I will kick your ass respectfully. I've seen him fight. He fought the 2 people. He just fought the other muscle man. Fight a real fighter. Fight a real fighter. I will be there. I will be your Huckleberry. And I'll give up size. You can be, what is he, like 490 pounds or something? He can be 490, and I'll be my 230. It'll be a fair fight. Fair-ish for him.
Are you saying that he's fought nothing but bums?
I'm saying he's fought not me. And whatever he wants to take that for.
Are you saying that he hasn't got the skills to compete with you?
I'm saying that if he were to be dumb enough to sign that contract, he would get his ass whooped. Tyrone Spong made it 2 rounds. Eddie wouldn't make it out of the first, which is probably a good thing because he doesn't have the gas tank for more than 1 round.
There you go.
He's big and strong, but he only has to be big and strong for a few seconds.
I was going to keep on going all fucking day with stupidness. All right. Well, I think you did a good job there.
I saw him cry when a little kid leg kicked him one time. I did. I saw him cry, like a tear rolled down his chin. And it was just, it was sad. I mean, I would make him cry. I would make him cry in front of the world.
Did he cry like a little bitch?
Like a little, I don't want to say the word, but in my best French, as we were talking, he cried like a little beach. A little beach.
Oh, shit. That's great. I love it. I want to see it. He's about 300. I've got it here because I was looking at something. He's about 300 and something pounds. 390.
Oh, he's a little guy then. Oh, I thought he was big and strong. He's a little guy too? Well, this doesn't seem fair anymore.
It's not fair. It's a little guy. Hey, I hope they made that matchup. And if so, we'll have you both on the show to talk about it. That would be epic.
That would be great.
Sam, always a pleasure, brother. We'll let you get out of here. Congrats on the victory. Keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully you get that fight.
I appreciate it. Eddie signed the contract.
Let's go. My man, I like that call out.
Hey, yeah, and you knew that, but we forgot about that, right? That was something that he said he wanted.
Completely.
Didn't he say that? Yeah.
I completely forgot. I was like, shit.
That's because we haven't slept in 2 days.
It is because we haven't slept. I should have asked Eddie Hall about it as well, but I'm sure he'll see that. I'm sure they'll make some headlines. All right, main card. Let's go through the rest of these. Harrington, is there any big stories that we need to talk about? Predictions? I've got. I think we've all got Shevchenko, right?
I mean, I'm going to take Manon Firot. I don't know if I'm just taking youth over experience across the board this card, but yeah, I'm taking Manon.
Valentina did not look like the same superhero made in a Russian laboratory that she has in her past 2 fights. So I don't know. I think this is it's a very good chance that she doesn't come out of this one with the dub.
Oh, okay.
Well, who are you going with, Brian? Make it official.
Yeah, I think Furo gets it.
Okay. Alexa Grasso.
Just need clarity.
Oh, hold on, we've had a fight cancelled.
Yes.
Today?
Over the weekend.
Shit. We had Benoit Saint-Denis versus Joel Alvarez. It's not on the card anymore. That was the fight that don't get me wrong, the main and co-main great, but I was really excited for Joel Alvarez and Benoit Saint-Denis. What happened? Someone get injured, Harrington?
Yeah, it was Alvarez who got injured, and he actually said for his next camp coming back, he's going to look at a move up to welterweight following the injury in camp.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he's huge. Yeah,
little bit of color on that. Ruffy from Fighting Nerds tweeted out that he would.
I do believe it's pronounced Roofy.
Roofy. I'm very sorry about that. I don't get the pronunciation guides like you guys do.
It's okay.
But
they're very little help most of the time.
And I don't listen to them.
He called out Saint-Denis not for this weekend, but for a fight night going forward.
Saint-Denis and Rufi. Okay, that'd be a good matchup. I like that one. Jose Aldo, Ayman Zahabi, real quick. I'm gonna say, this is another bold one. I'm gonna say Ayman Zahabi pulls it off.
Yeah, he definitely could. But for the sake of the show, Michael, I'm gonna go with the fucking legend, bro. What are you talking about? I'm going Jose Aldo Jr. gets it done. I think he's been in a lot of close fights with a lot of the higher level guys.
Felder, I think you are intoxicated.
Perhaps.
No, listen. Do you know what? Saying that, I've just clicked on Ayman Zahabi. He's also 37 years old.
He's not young.
It's not like he's a spring chicken. He is on a 5-fight win streak. He is trained by his brother Ayman Zahabi, Firas Zahabi. He does have George St. Pierre in his corner this weekend. He does have the crowd of Montreal on his side. But Jose Aldo does not give a flying F-U-C-K.
He's got Rio de Janeiro on his side, okay?
Worth noting.
Okay, Harrington? Okay? Apparently he's Cuban.
You say something to me? You say something to me?
Talking to me?
Okay.
I came in to back you up, Paul. Last time there was a UFC card pay-per-view in Canada.
You look like a lizard.
The men went 0 for, I think it was 7 over 6 on the card. Not a single dude won a fight in Canada. No, not a single Canadian dude won a fight in Canada.
Yeah.
Hold on, right? So Canadians then. Let's play this game. Canadians, we've got Ayman Zahabi on there. We're saying he's going to lose. We've got Mike Malott versus Charles Radke.
Yeah, I got an
I think
opinion
Mike
on that
wins.
one too.
Who do you think wins?
I'm going Radke.
Ooh,
I like that
screw
dude.
The Canadians.
He's nuts. I kind of like him.
You,
when he first fought, I didn't necessarily like the attitude, but I've talked to him since, and he's training partners with Belal, and I like him now a lot.
Okay, I'll tell you what's going to be a crazy fight. This is my pick. On the prelims, Modestas Picauskas versus Iwan Kutalaba. They both fought on Seattle. They both got finishes. Iwan Kutalaba's out of his mind in the best way possible. I love it. He's just pure violence and aggression and swings like a maniac. He's got wrestling as well, but he's the Hulk, right? And Modestas Picauskas got a first-round knockout. He's really good. That'll be my one to watch on the prelims, guys.
Yeah, and another fight. I'm looking at the card too. Jasmine Jasdavicius has really earned this spot against somebody like Jessica Andrade on the card at 125 pounds. I mean, she's been on an absolute streak lately. So as shouting the females out, I think that Navajo Sterling's on the card. That's a great spot for him to be on as well. But I like that Mike Malott and Radke fight.
Okay, so we've
Bruno
done the top
Silva
three
still
fights.
getting
I tell you what, as well, shouting out the women, Alexa Grasso versus Natalia Silva. Have you commentated any of Natalia Silva's fights? She's great, man.
Yes,
she's really,
I'm almost positive I have.
Sidekicks, taekwondo. She's powerful. Former champ Alexa Grasso. That's a good fight as well. I'll probably say Grasso just because of the wrestling, but I'm not too sure. But anyway, Harrington, we've got any quick stories to get to before we do questions? And if anyone does have a question, Harrington, where did he send the question into?
bympod@gmail.com is the address for all questions. And anything you want to send to the show.
Send some shit in.
Some recipes. Got some recipes?
Sure.
Do you cook, Paul?
Very rarely.
What do you cook?
Eggs.
Yeah.
A lot of eggs.
I'm starving right now. Harrington, do you cook?
No. My wife cooks.
Wait, did you just say you make bagels, Paul?
Yeah, but I mean, I put them in the toaster and
different.
Turn it on.
Oh,
yeah, I don't like make bagels.
Oh no.
Sorry,
Ellie
Brian.
here.
You're probably like, wait, you're saying you don't cook, but you make bagels?
Yeah, that's
Ellie
exactly where I was at. I was like, what the hell?
Ellie bakes her homemade sourdough bread. She does something called like a sourdough starter kit, and every night she has to go down and feed it. And then it's crazy. It's so good, so good.
Sourdough is one of the best breads for you too. Christine tried to do make her own starter, and like from scratch. So complicated. I think we ended up just buying somebody's starter and doing it that way.
No, Ellie does it all from scratch in the house, but it is worth
tough,
it.
Man.
It is so good. Harrington, what have we got?
So I think the biggest story, Ilia Topuria at an event in Spain over the weekend announced his next fight date. He says he is going to fight International Fight Week.
Right. This is a simple one. We are 5 days away from UFC 315 happening. What that means is, come Saturday night, we're going to know who wins. Will it be Belal Muhammad or will it be Jack Della Maddalena? If the answer is Jack Della Maddalena, put this in your pipe and smoke it. Islam Makhachev, this is my opinion, of course, Islam Makhachev will fight Jack Della Maddalena for the welterweight title because I think that's what he's holding out for. If Belal wins, it's Ilia versus Islam. And if he doesn't, I think Islam fights Belal, and I think Ilia probably fights Charles do Bronx Oliveira, someone like that.
Yes. Yeah. If Islam fights Jack, or Islam fights Ilia, or Charles fights Ilia, and Islam fights, you know what I mean?
You can do it, Paul. You can do it. I see the jet lag. I see the tiredness. I see the glazed look in the eye. I see the lasting effects of the hangover still kicking in.
There's definitely no hangover. It's definitely lack of sleep and eating 50s.
Well, it's not professional, Paul. We are running a top of the food chain podcast here. We expect you on your best form. So I'm not saying it's an official warning.
I'm shaming myself.
But
there's a letter in the mail for you already.
Strike one, Paul. We're reaching out to human resources. For fuck's sake, Hamilton's going to give you a call.
HR is coming in. HR.
Speaking of top of the food chain at lightweight, Arman Tsarukyan says he is too big of a deal to take on Mateusz Gamrot and the main event of UFC Abu Dhabi. Publicly claimed that he turned down the main event against the man who he last lost to.
See, this is where Arman's going to get himself in trouble, right? Is he doesn't have to necessarily fight. He only wants to fight and try to get to the top, get that belt because he loves it. So he's not going to fight for earnings ever. And he's in a spot right now where he's willing to sit and wait. And I feel like the UFC, because of all the stuff that happened, you're not going to get a bigger matchup than being potentially a main event against another top contender in a rematch fight to prove that you should be moving forward and get to that belt. I like Arman Tsarukyan, and I think that this is a major mistake.
I like Arman Tsarukyan as well, but bigger picture here. What we're seeing and what we're hearing a lot lately from these fighters is that are you doing a pack of cards?
Yeah, is it annoying?
It's I was like, there's something going on. It's distracting the shit out of me, Paul.
You're not focused enough to get through this? Come on.
Bro, put the cards down, dude. Strike 2. I'm getting Anthony back. Jesus Christ, he never showed up hungover, drank a drink, or shuffled
That's not true.
Cards.
That's not true. That is a 100% lie. He may have not had a pack of cards, but he had some Busch Lights in him.
Yeah, he did. And a few Moscow Mules as well, and rightly so.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Right, what we're seeing lately, and we see it all the time. We've seen it with Ian Gary and Joaquin Buckley. We see it now with Arman Tsarukyan. We see it in every single division. The fighters are saying, I'm not fighting this guy because he's behind me in the rankings. They only want to fight ahead. Now, if you fight ahead, the person that's ahead of you, you're expecting them
fighting behind you. Yeah.
To fight behind you in the rankings. Now, the first half of my career with the UFC, there was no rankings. So you just got a name and you said yes or no. And I always said yes, regardless. But because of this ranking system that isn't really worth anything, it is giving fighters an opportunity to tap dance around, to turn fighters down, to say, no, he's not on my level. He's behind me in the rankings. It should be, if the guy isn't ranked, I understand that. But it should be, if they are ranked, you got to accept the fight because someone's fighting down in the rankings. And I think they're using this as a way to sidestep potentially bad matchups and just use the fact that they're ranked. I don't like it. The rankings aren't even totally necessary. But I think if he's in the rankings, then you got to fight him because it means he's world class.
Yeah. And it was, and especially if there's history there and it was a tough fight and it was a close fight the first time around. It's not like, yeah, I agree with you there. It's not like they're saying, oh, yeah, you got to fight this guy who's on a 3-fight win streak, who's not ranked yet, and is trying to take everything that you've worked for to get into those rankings and be there. You're talking about a guy that's there too, that's been on the cusp of getting closer to that title fight with big wins as well. And in a very close competitive fight that some people thought maybe he won, right? Who won?
Yeah,
Arman won.
yeah.
Arman
Mateusz won the fight. But it was one of those.
So you get a fight back that you lost that you think you won. Yeah, I think the rankings do kind of muddy things up in that regard where nobody wants to take fights anymore.
Exactly. That wasn't even directed at Arman Tsarukyan.
No, just in general. Yeah.
It's just the landscape in general. And what we're seeing throughout the sport now is people say, well, he's ranked below me, so I'm not going to fight him. I mean, I guess the greatest example of it would be John Jones saying, I'm not going to fight this guy so he can build a name off me. Well, look at all the champions anytime someone becomes a champion, they beat a champion. They have to defend the belt. Anytime you fight someone higher in the rankings, they've taken on someone lower in the rankings. This whole discussion is stupid. Be a man, step up, accept the fights that the UFC send your way. That is what we're supposed to do. Line them up, I'll knock them down. Send me the name, send location. I'll jump on a flight. I'll be there. Stop trying to cherry pick your way to the perfect scenario of you becoming champion. Because if you're not good enough, you won't make it.
You're not going to stay there. You're not going to stay there. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. And once you get that belt, like you said, if you start doing that, I mean, everybody that you're going to fight, like you talked about, is underneath you in the rankings because they're challengers and you're the champion. So I think guys that get into that mindset early and kind of have I need to beat all of these guys at some point anyway. I think that's, now listen, you can always have a little bit of strategery in there and not fighting someone. Yeah. No, strategery.
Strategery?
Yeah.
I like it. Strategery. We're going with it.
No, it's definitely strategy, but I was just being silly. So I mean, I think you got to take on fights, and obviously, if they're not ranked and you're number 5 or 6, and the guy's not even in the top 15, then it makes sense. Or is number 15 or below. But if they've got a reputation, and more importantly, you've got fight history again, and you lost the fight, and the guy's not good enough to fight, that doesn't make sense to me.
And in that case, the strategery wouldn't have paid off.
I like that better.
Strategery.
Yeah.
I think we'll use this segue to see what questions we have this week. It's been a long one. We're tired. We've had guests. If you strategically want to have a question answered, you send it in. Come on, Paul, laugh it up. You'll send it into bympod@gmail.com. Brian, what have we got on the docket this week, brother?
We did get quite a few questions in today. Not sure we're going to be able to get to them all.
Wow.
We went from like we get one or two and some strange ones to we're flooded.
So this gentleman here, Daniel, has a question about pay on ESPN cards. You guys want to get into that?
No kid, okay.
What's up, Michael? What's up, Paul? Fuck you, Harrington. What's up, Brian? My question is, when you guys have a fight on ESPN Plus, and I watch that fight, do you get a percentage of that fight? Because it seems kind of unfair to me that you don't. Thanks. Love you guys. Keep doing it. Have a great day.
It's not unfair. No, you don't. You don't get it. If the fight's on ESPN Plus, it's just like being on any other TV station. No, we don't get a percentage of that. We get paid off fight purse that we agree and sign a contract to. And if you are the champion, then you get a little piece of the pay-per-view. I think that's pretty fair and pretty simple.
Yeah. Yeah. No, man. Could you imagine we're getting cuts of like the TV broadcast? That'd be sick.
$1 billion a year. I want,
but not
5%.
fair. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree.
We'll get through all these if you answer pretty quickly.
Yeah. Let's get through it. Let's go.
Right.
Power question time.
This next one's from Mr. Liam.
Hi, BYM podcast. Liam Sullivan here from London. Second time caller, long time listener. Do you think Michael Chandler would be the perfect opponent for Donald Cerrone if Donald was coming back to the UFC still, considering where they both are in their careers? Love the podcast. Keep up the good work, Michael and Paul. Hugh Harrington.
Well, Paul, let me answer that one first, mate. I don't think Donald Cerrone would be the perfect opponent. I just don't. I think Michael Chandler's been about for a while now, and he's only taking on the big fights. And Donald Cerrone, I don't even know if he's in the bloody testing pool, mate.
Yeah.
Do a Cockney, Paul. Do a Cockney. Come on, mate. Give it a go. Come on, Paul.
I can, mate. I don't know, Michael.
Nah, that's all right, mate.
Oh, yeah.
It's all right. You're doing well.
I'm trying to think of like all the movies that have Cockney, like hardcore British gangster style.
Yeah, but what do you think about the question?
Oh yeah, I don't think that's a great fight either. And again, I haven't heard about Cowboy talking about fights recently.
For a while.
He was big on it. He was big on it early. And I kept asking Sean Shelby, I was like, what's going on? He's like, just no, it's not happening. I'm like, now technically, I guess if he really did keep pushing it, they would have to either release him or give him a fight. And he was like, we're letting him train and see how it goes. And he hasn't been pushing for it as much lately.
Yeah.
And Chandler would be a rough one. That'd be a rough one.
On a serious answer, I think it might make sense. Brian, third question of the day. Let's go. I hate to say it, Brian, you're muted.
Motherfucker. All right, so next question we got here today is from Brett Vigil, and he wants to know about some training stuff.
What's up, Michael? What's up, Paul? Two quick questions. Sure, you've seen the video of JDM submitting Craig Jones. So my question to you guys as strikers, what submission and against who that you pulled off in your career while sparring or rolling are you most proud of? And on the opposite spectrum, have you ever been knocked out in sparring, and how did that go? Thank you, guys.
Yeah. You got one, Paul? By the way, I just want to say, I think that footage of Jack choking out Craig Jones is bullshit.
Yeah. I agree with you. I don't think that really happened. Craig
Jones has got a good sense of humor. He's a bit of a troll.
Yes. He has no problem looking bad just to make hype behind Jack going into that fight. 100%. And as far as like pulling something off and sparring, I don't really remember anything in particular. Here's that footage of him, subbing him. It just looks too easy. Yeah, and it just looks it's fake.
In terms of your proudest submission.
Yeah. No, nothing that sticks out. But I haven't been knocked out cold in sparring, but I have 100% been dropped with like head kicks a few times in sparring throughout the years. Cowboy and one of Cowboy's training partners, Mikey, one of his best friends, who's been with him forever, knocked me out or knocked me down. And I remember kind of not knowing what the hell was going on, but I never was like sleeping or anything like that.
It's kind of par for the course. Brian, look this guy up in the chat. Zulozinho. He was this big Brazilian that Eddie Hall probably would have wanted to fight back in the day. He came and joined our gym back in the early days in England and fought out in Pride for a while, fought Fedor Emelianenko and a couple of other people. Zulozinho. This guy is massive. He doesn't look... Oh, yeah. He's big, though, as well. He's tall. That's not the best picture of him, to be fair. I choked out a really fat guy. He was about 450 pounds. Anyway, I remember grappling him in the gym. I was like, what the fuck do I do?
What am I even doing?
Wasn't the fastest mover, believe it or not. Took the back.
I believe it.
Took the back, choked him out. I've been dining out on that one ever since.
So proud of it.
I'm so proud of it. It's my pride. Never mind becoming the champ. I choked out Senior.
Did you use good strategy in that particular grappling match?
My strategy was flawless. Do we have one more, Paul? Flawless. Yeah. No. I was trying to think, Paul, what was that? What you said about Nigella Lawson recently? The word that the English chef, Nigella Lawson.
Oh, microwave. Put it in the microwave.
Yeah. Put it in the microwave. Come on, Brian. What else have we got? Let's get cooked in the microwave.
We got a question here from Alex.
What's up, Mike and Paul? Alex here from Canada. And I really enjoy to listen to your podcast. One of my favorite MMA podcasts. I like to listen it while I'm doing my conditioning session at the gym. And I got a question for you. What would be your advice to young yourself on beginning of your fighting career? And also, another question, which book you can recommend that you think change your perspective of the fighting or just in general in life? Just give me some couple books and I would love to check them out. And I hope to be guest on your show one day as I'll become first Ukrainian karate combat champion. Hope to see you there and have a good one, guys.
Dziękuję. Good job, man. Well, we look forward to seeing you in karate combat. We look forward to you maybe becoming a champion one day. If you're looking for a book, it's an international bestseller. It's called Quitters Never Win. You got to check it out. Paul, have you read Quitters Never Win?
Of course.
No.
I'm not. I need to read more.
Yes.
More.
Otherwise, you would have read it. Of course.
Yes. Of course. If I was a reader.
Yeah. What did he ask?
So
what
bad.
else did he ask?
And advice you would give to your early fighting self. That's a good one.
So, what is it?
For me, I would, especially early on when I was getting into MMA, I would have taken more fights as a young guy, as an amateur. Speak kind of along the lines of trying to pick the perfect fights and doing all that. I didn't necessarily do that, but I was in such a rush to get to a pro fight, and then I didn't know how long I was even going to do it. So in hindsight, looking back, I would have fought everybody as an amateur as much as I could for a short period of time before I decided to make that call. And instead, I only had 4 amateur fights and then went professional and had to learn on the job for quite a few of them. And luckily enough for me, I got through a lot of those tests and won. But yeah, there was some fights early on that I probably would have been a lot better than the guy if I had just had a little bit more experience and didn't have to figure out stupid shit on the fly, even in the UFC, really.
My answer would be recovery protocol. Make sure you stretch, because I didn't do any of that stuff. You have to spar, but don't spar quite as hard. Make sure you stretch. And I wish I hadn't have party quite so hard in between fights, although I had a bloody good time. And we hope that you had a bloody good time whilst watching the Believe You Me podcast. I want to say a big thanks to Eddie Hall. Thank you to Sam Alvey, Cory Sandhagen, and of course, who was the other guest? Reinier de Ridder. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment in the video. It helps the algorithm. Saturday, we will be watching UFC 315 live from Montreal. From myself, Michael Bisping. This has been a great session of the Microwave.
Come hang out in Discord. Join the membership.
Oh!
Hang out. And if the boys aren't working, they'll probably be in the Discord.
We're going to be in the Discord. We're going to be chatting it up. We'll do a video about it and promote the Discord all by itself. For me, Michael Bisping,
Paul Felder, the Irish Dragon, bidding you a good day, mate.
Fuck's sake, mate. Take it easy, Paul.